It's your boy, Alan Roger Currie. Okay, I'm disappointed in some of you guys. I'm just being real. And it's funny, I mentioned this in one of my last Patreon exclusive videos that for months, I never used to harshly criticize or admonish my Patreon subscribers. I would only do admonishments for my, non-clients or non-Patreon subscribers. Hold on a second. But yeah, some of you guys, and again, it's not many. It's just a small percentage of guys. But okay, let me just ask you. Do you guys understand the core of Mo 1? I mean, honestly. And that might, to some of y'all, sound like a dumb question, but do you honestly understand the core of Mo 1? Like the core of Mo 1? First, I'm going to tell you what the core of Mo 1 is not about. What the core of Mo 1 is not about. And, for a lot of you all, this is going to sound very repetitive. But here's at least two things that Mo 1 is not about. Number one, Mo 1 is not solely and specifically about trying to get every woman you meet in bed as quickly as possible. That is not what Mo 1 is about. That is not what Mo 1 is about. Getting a woman in bed quickly is more so the frosting on the cake rather than the cake itself, so to speak. That's more so the frosting on the cake. That's not the cake itself. So that's number one. Mo 1 is not about getting women in bed, every woman you meet in bed, as quickly as possible. Yeah, that's not what Mo 1 is about. Have I gotten women in bed fairly quickly because of Mo 1? Yes, I have. And you all know many of my stories. But the fact of the matter is that's never my specific objective. I've even pointed that out in a number of videos. I pointed out in my original Mo 1 book. Getting a woman in bed as quickly as possible is never my number one objective. That's never my number one motivation for being Mo 1. Never. Number two, Mo 1 is not about preventing, delaying, or minimizing the egotistical sting of rejection. It's not. And some of the questions I get from some of you guys, not just Patreon guys, but some of my clients who are not Patreon subscribers. So this is not totally just targeted at Patreon subscribers, but yeah, I can tell by some of the questions I get or some of the comments I get, either in an email consultation or a Skype or telephone consultation. A lot of you guys still cannot handle rejection. That literally defeats the whole purpose of being Mo 1. That's the number one objective of Mo 1, in case you didn't know that. The number one objective of Mo 1 is to get to a point mentally, egotistically, and emotionally where you literally don't give a fuck about being rejected. Like, it literally just doesn't faze you anymore. Does that mean you won't feel disappointed? Anytime you get rejected, you're going to feel disappointed to one degree or another. I still feel disappointed when I get rejected by a woman that I'm attracted to. So as far as just under the category of disappointment, you're going to always feel disappointed when you get rejected by a woman. But here's what you shouldn't be feeling. Like, I had a client recently write me, and he said, Alan, I approached this woman, and I said, XYZ, ABC, and she ended up rejecting me, and man, I just felt really devastated. He literally used the word devastated. He said, man, I just felt devastated. And I was basically like, why? Why did you feel devastated? He said, well, because, she was really like super duper hot. And I just really kind of was already envisioning myself having sex with her because she was just super duper hot. And I was just devastated that she rejected me so quickly and abruptly and straightforwardly. See, if you're experiencing that, then you're still in your, what I would call your Mode 1 diapers. If you're experiencing that, you're still in Mode 1 diapers. That's what you're in. You're in Mode 1 diapers. You haven't graduated out of your diapers yet. Because no woman should be able to leave you feeling devastated when you get rejected. Again, disappointed? Yes. Devastated? No. No. I can't remember the last time I felt devastated over a woman rejecting me. See, here's the difference between me and a lot of you guys, man. Like, I'm going to think back to when I first started being Mode 1. The first calendar year I really started being Mode 1 with women on a regular basis for me was 1985. And I remember, man, in 1985, when I was Mode 1 with women, I literally just got a kick out of being Mode 1 with women. I mean, seriously, just the act of being Mode 1 with women was like an adrenaline rush for me. Regardless of whether the woman ended up reciprocating my desires and interests or rejecting my desires and interests, I literally just got an adrenaline rush out of being Mode 1. I know some of y'all that might go over your head or whatever. You won't be able to comprehend that, but it's like, I don't know if this is the best example, but it would be like you being, having the opportunity to be like a professional soccer player or a professional basketball player. And you're just excited over the fact that you're able to play the game, period, in front of a large audience. You really don't care whether your team wins or loses. You're just excited to be on the basketball court or out on the football/soccer field. You're just excited to be out there. That's what gets me off a lot of times. I just love being Mode 1 with women. Meaning, I just get a kick out of expressing myself in a very bold, confident, straight to the point manner. Regardless of whether the woman rejects me or gives me a negative reaction. But I said this, I think, in one of my recent videos, is that what a lot of you guys are trying to do is, you guys are trying to accomplish two things that basically conflict with each other. Which is, a lot of you guys want to meet as many women as possible. And more specifically, you want to connect with as many women sexually as possible. But at the same time, you don't want to risk being rejected, and you don't want to risk being harshly criticized or receiving any type of negative reaction from a woman. And I'm here to tell you that's virtually impossible. It literally is. That's literally virtually impossible. It is literally virtually impossible. Speaking of sports, it would be like you wanting to play basketball against someone, whether it's one-on-one or within a team context, 5-on-5, and you want to play a game of basketball, but you don't want to in any way, shape, or form risk losing. Or another analogy would be you want to go to Las Vegas and you want to win some money, but you don't want to risk losing any money. How can you win any money in Las Vegas if you're not willing to risk losing some money? Haven't you heard of the old adage, no risk, no reward? That's where that comes from. No risk, no reward. But that's what a lot of you guys want. You guys want the rewards of Mode 1, but you don't want to experience the risk of Mode 1. That's what, again, I ain't going to say this is most of you guys. I don't even know if it's half of you guys or even maybe even 1/3 of you guys. But if nothing else, at least a small percentage of you guys want the rewards of Mode 1 behavior, which is, of course, getting laid with women that you're really attracted to, but you don't want to risk being rejected in a quick, abrupt, straightforward manner, and you don't want to risk experiencing any harsh criticisms from women or negative reactions from women. You're not going to be able to accomplish that. So this is my homework assignment for you, for guys who fall into this category. This is what I want you to do. At minimum, the next 3 women you approach, and at maximum, the next 10 women you approach. The next 3 women you approach, and at maximum, the next 10 women you approach. Try to get rejected. Yeah, you heard me right. I want you to try to get rejected. As crazy as that might sound. That's what I want you to do. I want you to try to get rejected. And you might say, well, Alan, what's the purpose of that? If nothing else, it means you're taking action. It means you're taking action. Because see, if all you're thinking about is not being rejected, wanting to prevent or avoid rejection, then in worst case scenario, that's going to cause you to not approach any women because you're too concerned over being rejected. So your way of trying to prevent it or avoid it is simply not to approach women at all. I want you to try to be rejected. I want you to try to be rejected. That's what I want you to do. I want you to try to be rejected. With a minimum of 3 women and a maximum of 10 women, I want you to let me know. Between now and roughly October 2nd, October 3rd, I want you to let me know how it goes. No later than October 3rd, between now and October 3rd, I want you to try to be rejected by a bare minimum of 3 women. I want you to try to be rejected. Here would be a suggested opening comment to set you up to be rejected. This is what, you don't have to use this opening comment, but here would be a suggested comment. I want you to go up to at least 3 women and say this. I don't like to usually tell guys what to say. I like to leave it up to them what to say. But in this case, I'm going to give you at least a suggested opening comment. I want you to say, would you mind if I shared a straightforward thought with you? Let me repeat that. Would you mind if I shared a straightforward thought with you? Now, at least half the women you say that to are going to say, no, I would rather you not. And that means you got rejected. You accomplished your goal. So at least no less than 50% of women you say that to, they're going to say, no, I would rather you not. That means you got rejected, which you might look at it as a bad thing, but I say that's a good thing. Because it means, if nothing else, it means you took action. You took action to talk to a woman. So that should be your opening comment. Would you mind if I shared a straightforward thought of mine with you? Would you mind if I shared a straightforward thought of mine with you? Again, I would estimate that at least half the women you say that to, they're going to immediately say, no, I would rather you not. Or no, thank you. Now, for the women that do take the bait and say, well, sure, go right ahead. Then say, I find myself very attracted to you. I find myself very attracted to you, but I have absolutely, positively no desire to be added to your roster of purely platonic male companions. Let me repeat that. I find myself very attracted to you, but I have absolutely, positively no desire to be added to your roster of purely platonic male companions. And then see how the conversation unfolds from there. If she rejects you, let it happen. Please let it happen. Just let it happen. Just let it happen. And let me know the first week in October, no later than October 3rd, between now and October 3rd. So I want you to approach a minimum of 3 women and as many as 10 women, no less than 3 and no more than 10. And again, I want you to use this. This is my suggested opener. Would you mind if I shared a straightforward thought of mine with you? Again, I want you to anticipate that 50 to 60% of the women that you say that to are going to say, I would rather you not, or no thank you. They're going to reject you like that. I want you to be prepared for that. And if it happens, so what? I want you to get used to being rejected so that it doesn't devastate you. And for the women who do, take you up on it and say, well, sure, go ahead and share. I don't mind. Go ahead. Say, I find myself very attracted to you, but I have absolutely, positively no desire to be added to your roster of purely platonic male companions. And then see how the conversation flows from there. All right. I'll be waiting for your feedback and your experiences and let's see how things go. But I want you to want to be rejected. Or try to be rejected. And I want you to consider it a bonus when you're not. A bonus. An exciting bonus when you're not. But the purpose of you trying to get rejected is so you just take action. Quit overthinking things and just take action. Okay? Get it? Got it? Good. Talk to you soon.
Yes, sir.
Say it again.
Yes, sir.
Who's the king?
Alan, you're the king.
Say it again.
Alan, you're the king. You're dominating me.
Say it again.
Alan, you're dominating me right now. Mode 1.
Mode 1.
Daddy, can I go, please? You're the king.
Say it again.
Oh, you're the fucking king. Yes. Yes. Yes.
You're the king, Alan.
AKA the king of verbal seduction. It's the tone of your voice, how seductive your intonations are, the vibrations that you could just reach out over the phone lines and stroke a woman's breast just by the sound of your voice, how you could make her pussy so wet just by the sound of your voice. That's actually very hot.
So you said my show was what?
I said your show is powerful.
Oh, say it again.
Your show is powerful.
I bet the king would fuck me really good.
Oh, yeah. Who's the king?
Alan Roger Currie.
Oh, yeah. Who's the king?
Alan Roger Currie. The king.
The king.
The king.